Good morning. My name is Mike Winch. I'm the Planning Ops trainee here with California Team 5 on the Coffee Pot Fire. This is going to be your operational update for August 24th. We're sitting at 3,017 acres. That's showing a 247 acreage growth on the fire overnight. We have 840 personnel on the fire. And while we're showing 0% contained, we're pretty happy to report out that we're showing 49% completion of our primary line. We took some time with our strategic operations over the previous shift to identify and finalize what is going to be the primary line around our fire, where we feel we have the greatest success factor in holding that fire based on fuel type, what kind of fuels are growing there, topography, what the slope is like, and that's where we want to hold it. And we're confident in that, and looking at that box and where we'll hold it, we have completed nearly 50% of it. That 50% has been prioritized over here to the west, where we're most concerned in keeping fire out of the communities on South Fork Drive and Mineral King Road. So this has been our priority from day one. And with 50% completion of that line, we're starting to transition from putting the line in. Now we're going to start getting water handling equipment up into this. So yesterday, if we start down at the bottom here on South Fork Road, we diligently put this. It's a combination of dozer line and hand line, utilizing some roadways, always trying to keep our containment lines on ridges, which have the highest probability of success. We're looking really good from Cinnamon Gap to South Fork Road, and today is going to see some hand crews go in and clean up some pieces where our heavy equipment couldn't get, and large orders of water handling equipment coming in. And what I mean by that is hoses. I'm sure the locals around here understand there's very little water up on Case Mountain, so we're looking at bringing in folded tanks. These hold anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 gallons of water, and we're going to spend a significant amount of time establishing water supply, get it to the top of the hill so that we can utilize it moving forward. From Cinnamon Gap to Case Mountain, again, that equipment has done a great job. CAL FIRE is moving a lot of heavy equipment around and really assisting us with that. So that's in place, and again, putting those hoses in and getting that water supply in place. From the top of Case Mountain, we've done a great job protecting some communication sites up there. That work is complete. Some historic cabins have been identified, protection put in place, and we're finalizing our primary containment line down to Mineral King Road and should be complete today. And that's a combination of heavy equipment and, again, hand crews, our hot shot crews getting in there in some rugged terrain and getting that work done. Swinging around to Mineral King Road, we're continuing. I'm sure people who have been driving out there on these tight roads see our folks working. And what they're doing is they're brushing out that lower portion of the road and trying to simultaneously chip it so we don't leave a bunch of waste and keep that road open as best we can. But what we're doing is trying to really get the underside of that road, so in the event we need to put a little bit of fire and back it down into the Kauai River, we'd show a high probability of success there. So that's going to be an ongoing effort as we work our way out to the fire scar moving east. And while we feel very comfortable and confident in using the Kauai River and Mineral King Road, we're always assessing opportunities to bring our lines in a little bit tighter and keep the perimeter of the fire smaller. So a lot of effort today is going to go into from near Case Mountain proper. We're going to run out a ridge line with heavy equipment, bulldozers pushing, moving that fuel down towards the river. And this is extremely steep, rugged terrain. It'll have to be in conjunction with some of our crews going in behind them. They've grabbed direct fire right here near what we have a heli spot up here where we can land some helicopters for supply delivery and extraction. But we've grabbed some fire's edge, and we're looking at opportunities to shrink that box down, and we're pretty happy with that. Coming out into the park, in some very remote, inaccessible terrain. I'm sure everybody watching is understanding there's limited access into these areas, hiking trails at best. So we're flying fire use modules out there. Our fire use modules are 7 to 10 people that are prepared to be in the backcountry for extended periods of time with limited resupply. So we're going to have 3 of those crews. They're going to be going out to Cahoon Rock here, establishing a remote spike camp, and within the park boundary, they're going to be looking at one of the many strategies we have under our full suppression efforts is confine and contain. And confine and contain is we're trying to really limit our impact to the ecosystem out there. So we try to tie lines from natural barrier to natural barrier, from a big rock slab to maybe a fire scar, and maybe the fire scar down to one of the many waterways down here. And these fire use modules are experts at that sort of tactic. So they'll be in there. We're looking to fly them out. It takes a little bit of time to fly 30 people out into the backcountry, but that'll be ongoing so long as this smoke lifts and we can get some helicopters moving in the air. Along the southern edge of the fire in the Kauai River here, we're continuing to brush out the South Fork Drive, and we have completed that up to the end. We've fixed and repaired the road. You're now able to drive into the campground, and some of our heavy equipment is beginning to repair that campground, allow for parking in there, and we're going to begin inserting crews on foot that will look at utilizing some of these waterways, some of the bigger waterways, as opportunities to hold this fire under that confine and containment strategy. Going forward today, as I said earlier, a lot of moving parts with hose and water, and ultimately what we're getting prepared for is now that we're getting these primary lines put in, we want to start showing some containment on this fire. We want black edge down to our containment lines. That's the best way we can hold a fire. So what we're going to look at in the future when this weather system passes, when we have all of our pieces in place and we're very confident in what we have, and through a lot of planning and thought process with our partners and our collaborators, we would begin putting fire on the ground up high on Case Mountain and backing fire down the hill, starting high, and we would be working all the way down, and this would be a multi-day event, all the way down to South Fork Road. And the backing fire allows us to control the intensity of the fire, control those flame lengths, control the duration. A backing fire is our best tool to just ease fire down, and we would have water in place to help hold that. In addition to the many aviation assets we have here, the helicopters that can drop water with buckets, we still have the super scoopers, which you've been watching on Kauai Lake, available to assist us to back that all up. So we're hoping in the next few days you're going to see a transition from this primary box that hasn't been showing much containment on paper to starting to see some fire on our edge and showing you some containment. But just knowing that there's a lot of folks out here, 840 personnel that are working hard to get this primary box in some very difficult, very difficult topography, fuel loadings, inaccessible, and fairly dangerous to get into to go on a direct area. And a lot of these efforts, as we push out to protect Three Rivers and the community of Three Rivers, these pink lines here, which I know Don talked about yesterday, those are showing proposed. Our CAL FIRE partners have done a fantastic job in the last shift to turn these purple lines black. So this containment and contingency line out here is in place, as well as down here from Cinnamon Gap going down right towards South Fork Drive. Those are in place, and we feel very confident that those are just another mitigating factor to protecting the communities of Three Rivers. And with that, I'll close out, and we'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Thank you.